All right, welcome back. I I've decided to do something a little bit different here. I I'm looking at the analytics for the videos, and it's the videos that show some firearm design. The barrel rifling videos seem to have been the most popular and maybe unique, I guess. I want to expand on that. I've decided to design another firearm. I've designed, well, to various degrees. I've designed several in my lifetime, but I haven't always built a prototype or gone overly far with them, just because life got in the way. But I was hoping for this this time, what I might do, depending on how much traction these videos get, is maybe put more detailed descriptions on Patreon or something like that, and then go through the process of my thoughts and how I wanted to design and set the setting the specs for what I wanted to design, my reasonings behind it, and then going through the provisional patent process. I've done that before myself. I thought maybe I could do that again this time, and then ultimately, I'm pretty sure I have one aspect of this new design, and I have no drawings at this point, but it's in my head. I can see full mechanisms in my head. I can hold the whole thing. It's actually, for me, I can often go from the image in my head in raw stock and some rough dimensions, and create a mechanism directly in metal from there. But I know most of the world doesn't work that way. So what I'm going to do, I've got my book of armaments, my reloading notes, and somewhere in here I got some extra scrap pages that I can doodle on, and then we'll go through, make the parts, put them together, test the design, and hopefully at the end of it we'll have something cool. We'll have a working firearm. It's going to be I'm a hunter. I really don't care for necessarily for anything tactical. The reason I have this and I use this is because it, for my type of hunting, most of it that I do, it checks all the boxes. Most, or I should say most of the boxes. So so that's kind of along the lines of what I wanted to, where I wanted to go with this. I wanted to, the design is going to be, it lends itself to either semi-automatic or the basic design. The breech design lends itself to semi-automatic or a straight pull bolt action, manually operated bolt action. and it's going to borrow some. It's going to borrow some aspects from different existing designs. There's really nothing, as they say, there's nothing new under the sun. We just kind of rearrange what's out there, and once in a while we come up with some new aspect, which the one thing, and we'll get to that in the future though, but that one aspect I think is something new, and has to do with the primary extraction problem that exists in semi-automatic and straight pull bolt action designs. But this video here is just going to be intro into into the series of firearm design that I plan to go ahead with, especially starting here fairly soon when the season, when all my deer seasons kind of end, which is going to be the beginning of the year. But at this point right now, I'm looking at the reason I have this is out right now is some aspects I'm going to borrow from this, such as shorter barrel, but that, you know, that can vary quite a bit. As far as the outline of what I wanted, one of the drawbacks of this design, well, everything comes with good and bad, right? Everything. So we have a design here where the barrel and the bolt and the buffer and the, I should say, the center of force against the shooter's shoulders is all in line, which makes it very controllable. But at the same time, the thing it does is it keeps their head back here in the stock or the buffer tube, but it keeps our head up a bit higher above the center line of the bore than is always advantageous, especially at the closer ranges. So I wanted a design where we had some drop at the comb, a little more drop, get this barrel up more in line with the eye. But that's, you know, that can vary too. That's going to be a kind of a flexible area in the design. It could be linear like this, but I wanted to shrink the action down. We're going to for the semi-automatic version, I wanted to use the gas tube that exists with the AR design. It's probably going to go underneath the barrel and underneath the stock. Oh, by the way, too, it will have some nice walnut, the fore end, either a pistol grip or maybe a thumb hole style, which I haven't sketched out yet. But I wanted to trim the action down and shorten it. Internal magazine, probably rotary, very few parts and easily made parts, no elaborate machining, and I think with what I come up with, that's going to be possible. The not quite anything just anybody could do in the garage with a drill press. But if you had some decent, if you were any kind of a tool maker, it would be something that you could mostly reproduce without a lot of problem. So borrowing the gas tube type system, borrowing a locking system from a German design, Heim. I think it's the SR30. They use ball bearings in the bolt head, and so and then using a pretty short bolt for the lockup, and then a cover. We have a cover on the back of the receiver, kind of reminiscent of the Blaser 8, except for no probably no bolt handle, external bolt handle. I would just have it where it would have a latch, kind of like a charging handle. So that cover would be the charging handles. When we pull it back, and like at this point, I understand that I cannot show what I'm describing because I haven't even sketched it out yet. But picture, if you will, this upper part above the bolt. Rather than having a charging handle back here, this upper part would be the charging handle, and the whole thing could slide back, exposing the whole top side of the breech area. Rotary internal magazine. I like hunting firearms with an internal magazine. If we're gonna have a magazine rifle for hunting, I don't want a magazine that I had to take out and possibly lose or damage, and it won't go back in. So it would be internal, and we get rid of this well. So we would trim it down. It would move the breech area back, so that it would, you know, automatically shorten the design over what we see here. Probably place the magazine would be just above, and it would be in a road, and I can show here. Oh, but by the way, this first design, I decided to go with the 7.62 by 39, but it's not going to be limited to that. I'm going to I want to be able to have this thing in something like a 308, a 30-06, if you wanted it in a you know, some of those harder hitting calibers. But so the rotary design would place these rounds essentially in a so we'd be looking at the front of it here. Zoom in on that. So if we were looking at from the barrel end, looking at this, we would have the axis in the center of this cluster, and the bolt would come in, and it would come forward, and it would strip this round. It would strip this round off of here, and then these would all rotate this way, and then strip it off and bring it up into the chamber. So that would be the magazine, internal rotary magazine. What else? Very few parts. I know the next video I would like to, and I might make that tomorrow, depending on time, but and start sketching some of this stuff out. And I'm not going to put a lot of the details on the directly on the channel. If there's enough interest, it'd be something worth, you know, intellectual property worth protecting. So I would go with, you know, certain, if people showed a lot of interest, what they could do is support the project on Patreon or possibly Kickstarter. This is all just in the beginning brainstorming phase, but I'm trying to think of what else to say about it. I'm not I have a lot of experience with firearms and a lot of experience with weapons. I spent 12 years in the Air Guard as a weapons technician for F4 and F-16s. I worked on a General Electric M61 Vulcan cannon. And then there's been my individual, you know, interest in firearm designs my whole life. I have a patent on the pistol I made a video of months back, I guess. I'm not sure when I posted that, but so the yeah, it's something maybe that people want to follow along. Maybe I thought about maybe what I could do is I could license out the design. People could go to someone that could manufacture a copy for them, and I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. Gun manufacturers really don't, I found out, they don't seem to, this is not the era of John Browning and Winchester anymore. They have their in-house designers. They have talented people, and they will go with what they design in-house, and those people sign agreements to you know, they might get some payment as an employee, but the company keeps the design. So that is what it is. But I think I got a pretty good one here. It's gonna have a lightweight reciprocating, you know, the mechanism, the part's going to be light. Probably even lighter than the AR here. And we can get into that, but I wanted a trim, pretty trim, modern looking artifact with some nice lines, some nice walnut, or whatever kind of, you know, synthetic, if that's your thing. And then some, the option of either PEEP or maybe even an express type sight. I don't know if you didn't see my one video where I shot some of those deer in the swamp. There was the doe that I shot on the run. I actually missed her I hit the tree with the first shot. And I missed the tree because I hit the tree. I missed the deer because I hit the tree with the first shot because she was so close, and I when I picked her up in the scope, as I pulled the trigger, she was walking. I picked her up with the scope and pulled the trigger. It was as I was passing that tree, and it was a good size. You know, it was a birch tree about that big around. I couldn't get through it. So the next round got her right below the eye and severed the brainstem and ended that deal instantly. But you know, so I wanted to come up with something that was prettier than this, and corrected some of the shortcomings I see in what is currently out there, and to share the process with the viewers, subscribers, and you know, let's make something cool. So other than that, till tomorrow, thanks for stopping by.